owner of Talon Talents here, and I just want to say that we are ecstatic to be a major sponsor of HomeFront Sitrep, a community that is ran by veterans and made for veterans. So thank you for tuning in. Talon Talents was formed in order to create a music scene that was together in the form of a collective, so that no one has to do everything on their own. And guess what? We've been doing this for free for over a year. So please go and check out Talon Talents through Facebook or through our official website at www.talontalents.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for tuning in to HomeFront Sitrep, a veteran-owned and operated podcast just for you.
My name's Rick Ames. I own Louisville Local Entertainment, a company for music shows, promotions, and bookings in the Louisville music scene. As a veteran, it's my honor to support and sponsor local veteran-owned businesses such as HomeFront Sitrep, made by veterans for veterans. So if you're in the music business and need some help booking or promoting a show for free, look me up, Louisville Local Entertainment. And thanks for tuning in to HomeFront Sitrep.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hey guys, Matt Verdi here with Veteran Mortgage Solutions. As rates are dropping, home values are going to start to go up. It's time to start looking if you're looking to purchase a home. That being said, we are an all-military veteran loan officer team. We know the ins and outs of the VA home loan. We are considered the experts in this field. Give us a call today. Go to our website, veteranmortgagesolutions.com. Fill out my quick form. I'll give you $500 off towards closing costs. Have a great day.
Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of Homefront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Miss Candace, how are you, dear?
I'm good.
Yeah? You doing all right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, last night's episode, oh my God, I was like a kid in a candy store.
I know you were. It was funny.
If you didn't watch last night's episode with Ed McLean from Warriors to Racers, definitely go to our YouTube channel and see that live from last night, or go to our Facebook page because you can find it either on both of those. But no, man, I was like a kid in a candy store. I loved it.
I know.
loved
And then
it.
you had two children on there with you. Like you were the third child.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I
Mm.
had you and James on there acting the fool. And it's just like, what the heck, man? But no, it was a great episode last night. And being an adrenaline junkie, I love things that give me a rush like that.
Mm.
It just, man, I love it. And you don't really hear about veteran service organizations that do the whole racing aspect. And they're doing 7 to 8 hour races doing the American endurance racing and everything else that they're involved with. You got the all female team, or
Mm.
the all female team in Texas with Tana P, who's a veteran,
Mhm.
and then the other teams around the country. And man, I'll tell you what,
Oh, it's super cool.
oh,
Like
it was,
super
it
cool to
was.
see something different. Like we keep bringing people on here and we keep finding something different in the things that you're looking for. So I love the fact that we're finding those things.
Oh yeah,
And it's
and that's the whole purpose of Homefront Sit Rep, is to
Mhm.
find these grassroots VSOs, veteran service organizations,
Mhm.
that are actually out there taking care of the veterans, one veteran at
Yeah.
a time, and they're doing it on such a level where they're not. They do care about funding, like, because they, every organization has to have money coming in
Something you care
to
about it, you have to have it. It's a
right.
necessity.
Yeah, it's
That
a necessity, but they're not to the point where, oh well, you can't take my veteran because he's my veteran. No, that's
mm-mm.
that's not what they're about. So, and that's what we look for when we reach out to these veteran service
Mhm.
organizations and stuff like that, and then plus bringing in veterans to tell their stories. Whether they're veteran business owners, like Cover Sunscreen out in California, and then
It goes back to, like, it truly does take a village.
it
Like,
does.
in bringing everybody together and working together, what better feeling is there? And we
Yeah,
should be doing it. And
yeah.
hi, mama.
Hi, Mom. My mom's on. Thank you for jumping on, Mama. But tonight we got a good episode. I'm
Mhm.
gonna bring up this little slide here. So tonight we have American Legion Post 291 out of Newport Beach, California. They're right on the harbor, or Newport
Yeah, I'm
Harbor.
jealous because
Um,
all of them are sitting there right now, and we gotta watch them sit there while we talk to them. And
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy. So this post was founded in 1924, by a group of 30 World War One veterans.
wanna say it again?
Yeah, it's a tongue twister. Who were residents of the Newport Harbor area. So that, they held their first meeting in December 2nd of 1925. So if you look, we're in 2024.
Mhm.
They were formed in 1924, so that's
Mhm.
100 years.
It's insane.
Dude, that is insane. So I'm super excited
Yeah.
to bring these guys
Your
on.
your daughters realize that 100 years ago, things were actually happening in America, right?
No, they probably don't.
Okay.
No. I mean, if they don't read it in the history books, they're like, "What the hell's that?"
Maybe right.
You know?
Like, that was how long
And then
ago?
half the time history's rewritten anyway, because it's whatever the left or right wants to be out there at the present moment in time. So half
Right.
the history that I learned, they don't even teach anymore.
Right, because they don't even understand, like, how did we talk to people when we were growing up? Like,
Yeah,
you guys had
yeah,
phones?
yeah. I didn't have a phone until God.
You had a landline, so stop
Well,
it.
I did have a
They don't
landline,
understand that. They
and
think that we just didn't the things that our kids
oh yeah,
I love watching those TikToks and those videos where people have their kids, like,
oh,
trying
you
to do,
try to
like,
do
a
the old
rotary
rotary dial,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
great.
it's super cool. And then me, I learned about Vietnam, Korea,
Mhm.
World War I, World War II, uh, and all those battles back then in history. And I love history. I'm a history guy, so if it's military history, I love it.
Mm.
And then kids nowadays, they're learning. They don't even learn about half that stuff.
No, well,
So
they're taking a lot of it out of the books.
oh yeah, and they're literally, you know, rewriting it to a certain extent to make it whatever the left or right wants, which we don't get into politics.
Yeah,
So
let's not do that.
I don't get into politics too very often, but
There ain't nothing good to get into with them.
no, it ain't. So, but no, so today was Monday. Super chill day at work. It was a beautiful day in Kentucky.
I had all the windows open in the house.
Oh, dude, I tell
loved
you
it.
what, I think it got a high of like 67 today.
Yeah, it wasn't warm enough to do it, and that's probably why I'm sniffly right now.
Maybe.
But it was so nice.
No, it was beautiful outside. I'm a fat boy, so I love cold weather. When it's hot, I can only take off so many clothes before I get in trouble.
Yes.
So
when it's cold, you can keep covering up, but
see,
you can only get so naked.
Well, yeah, true.
Once you're naked, you're dead.
Oh, you get in trouble too. That's the crazy part.
You were 16 or after you turned 18 for your phone.
16 or after you turned 18. I think it was 18 because I think I got my first cell phone when I was in the Marine Corps. Right after I got out of boot camp, I think I got my first cell phone. I can't remember. It's been such a long time ago, and I had the Nokia.
You're showing your age.
Yeah, the Nokia phones. You know,
yeah.
I didn't have the bag phone. You know, the bag phone, the bricks. I didn't have one of those, but I did have a Nokia. But anyway, let's bring up our guests. We got 3 guests coming on tonight. We got the commander, Evan Planto, and then we got Mr. Let's see, Nick Safon. I did. He's the adjutant, and we got Corey Vigil, who is the service officer. Let's bring these guys up to the stage. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Oh, doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you guys for coming on, and I want to thank Miss Nikki Bennett, who's with your PR team, who reached out to Homefront here to get you guys on to talk about your post, what you guys got going on. Like I said earlier in the little intro there, it is your 100-year anniversary. So let's go ahead and introduce yourselves and give a little bit about your military background.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to help you out here. It's Kelly.
I said Kelly.
You said Nikki.
Did I?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Kelly Bennett. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to call out the right person. I'm going to call him.
So let's start with the commander.
From Kentucky, so excuse him sometimes.
Hi, I'm Evan Planto, commander of Post 291. And I joined ROTC in college because that's the only way I could get it paid for. Got a 3-year scholarship, was commissioned a 2nd lieutenant in the Army, communications, Signal Corps. Did my 30 years. And I started with crank phones and the old switchboards where you pull the wire out and plug it in.
Nice.
When I was in Iraq, we had voice over IP, all computer systems, satellites. Oh yeah. So it's changed a lot over the time. So, but I did my 30 years and I hit my mandatory retirement date and my time was up.
Oh man.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your service. Now, how long have you been the post commander?
Just finishing up my 3rd year.
Okay, so you're getting ready to be done. Now, have you always been just a commander, or did you do other positions as well?
Well, it's a funny story. In the American Legion, they like you before you run for commander. You're supposed to go through, they call it the chairs. So you'll be a member at large and 3rd vice, 2nd vice, 1st vice, adjutant. Well, my wife joined the Legion first. She's a veteran. And in December of 2020, they asked me to run for commander. And I said, well, I have to join the post first. So I joined, and then 4 months later, I campaigned really hard, and I became the commander. And it's been a great opportunity. I wanted to make the membership have as good an experience as they can have because we're so blessed to be on the water in Newport Beach. It's a beautiful post, and just wanted to make it as best as it could be.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. Well, like we said, thank you for your 30 years of dedicated service to our country. That's a feat to do 30 years. I was trying to, so I did little over 6 years in the Marine Corps, and I got out the first time right before 9/11 happened. And I was talking to an Army recruiter because I was going to go from the Marines into the Army like most Marines do, because if you're infantry in the Marine Corps, it's hard to switch out of that MOS. So my plan was to go into the Army, and I was going to change my MOS that way. Well, 9/11 happened. I got recalled back into the Marine Corps, so we put it on the back burner. And then when I got out the second time in 2004, Went back and talked to the same Army recruiter. Now I got 2 honorable discharges, and I went back and talked to the same recruiter and had everything set up. I had it in black and white. I was going to go Germany for 5 years. I was going to go from E5 to E6, $50,000 enlistment bonus, and I was going to go into telecommunications. So I had everything written in black and white on contract. And they sent the paperwork to MEPS. The doctor at MEPS who signed my paperwork to join the Marine Corps denied me from joining the Army. And they used I had bronchitis as a child. That I never had asthma, but I had bronchitis. And they're like, well, since you had asthmatic symptoms, you were never diagnosed, but you had asthmatic symptoms, we can't let you go in the Army.
Everybody's had a cough.
I know, right? I was like, wait a minute, Doc, you're the one that let me join the Marine Corps. Here's your signature on my original orders, and you're telling me I can't go into the Army? We fought it all the way up to a full bird colonel over the Eastern Seaboard of recruiting, and still could not get that doctor to budge. So I said, screw it. And now looking back on it, because my current wife, I was married while I was in the Marine Corps because I was young, dumb, and full of you know what. My current wife told me, she said, if you go back in the military, we're done. We're breaking up. We're not going to be together. I can't be a military spouse. So looking back on it, I think, what did he say? We only take the cream of the crop. Listen here, Rich. But looking back on it, if I had joined in and went into the military, I wouldn't be married to the wife that I am. I wouldn't have the daughters that I have. So I think the man upstairs was looking out for me in that sense.
You wish you would have pushed harder?
I mean, I pushed pretty hard.
No, I'm saying it could have changed everything in your life.
It could have. And looking hindsight's 2020, now no. But my plan was to at least do 20 in the military. So let's go to Nick. Let's talk about you.
Hi, my name is Nick Sifan. I am a 24-year veteran. I enlisted in 1984 in the U.S. Navy. And then in 1988, I went into the Army for 20 years. So I did take that switch.
Transferred.
Listen,
Sorry.
Linda. Listen.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Or Nick,
was,
talking to Nick. Oh my goodness, we are a mess.
So
today.
how long have you been with Post 291?
I've been a Legion member for approximately 33 years, but at this post, 8 or 9 years. 291. I started out in North Orange County in Fullerton.
And you're the adjutant, so you're working your way up. Or do you have aspirations of being post commander one day?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Commander Planto nominated me for this election coming up soon, May 8th.
Nice. Well, we're going to be pulling for you.
Thank you.
All right, Corey, let's talk about you, my friend.
Hi, my name is Corey, and I'm a United States Navy veteran. And I'm just like you. I have 2 enlistments.
Nice.
96 to 2000, got out, went to school for a little bit. 9/11 happened. Then I went in from 2002 to 2006.
Nice.
Worked in the fleet. And then my second job was a corpsman. And right away, I connected with you because the same story, a little bit slightly different. And I have been with the American Legion for 6 years, but you can probably add another 5 or 6 years on there when I was working during COVID, because that was one of the toughest times where veterans were really needing a lot of help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And COVID was a strain on everybody, especially if you're in a veteran service organization, because like doing equine therapy or race car therapy, like with Warriors to Racers, or just outdoor therapy in general, or any kind of therapy.
The things that require fundraising and sponsors.
It was really hard to do.
And thank you for your service.
Yes,
well.
thank you both for your service. So for me, like I got out in 2004, and I got involved with veteran charities, just volunteering my time, and whether it be with like Operation Victory, which is where we went in and rebuilt homes for homeless veterans, and various other veteran service organizations, and COVID was really really hard on everybody. I mean, because here we are, I'm out here donating my time, helping my fellow brothers and sisters that, are living on the streets, or, they're dealing with this or dealing with that. And when you're not able to see somebody face to face, it was a strain. I mean, good thing we had our phones, because a lot of us kept in contact that way.
And like Corey said, it's not even just the organizations that got hurt, but everybody that needed that much more help. Like the rise in the things that people needed and were not readily available to them, and trying to find those resources was so tough.
Yeah. We definitely were putting in a lot of work at this American Legion. Most American Legions, they typically will work in their cities, close to their cities, the surrounding. We're covering a whole county. We're covering Orange County. And so there's a lot of responsibility that falls on us, not just within county and in California, but nationally, with the numbers that we have. So the expectations are very high. We have a high amount of veterans that come to us for everything. You're going to see a different vet with a different problem or needing some type of support in a different way. It's just, we get everything here. So a lot of responsibility, not just from the service officer, but our whole leadership. There's interaction with veterans daily.
Oh yeah.
Well, the mission of the American Legion is to take care of veterans. And I got to tell you, Corey is the tip of the spear. He's the man that makes it happen. Back in, last year, we did over $500,000 in donations to individual veterans or veteran organization and charities.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Corey vets most of those and decides, who he should sponsor or take care of. And he has a Veteran Emergency Assistance Fund, and I'm sure he'll tell you more about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that is awesome. Well, let's get in. We'll get into that here in just a minute. Let's get into this 100-year anniversary that you guys got coming up. Who wants to talk about that?
No, I guess I'll start out. It is our 100th year anniversary. The actual date's in April, but we decided to celebrate it on 4th of July. Our post usually does a pancake breakfast on 4th of July. We bring in the firemen and they cook the pancakes. We open it to the public. And then after the breakfast, we have a band. And it's a really nice day. Well, what we're going to do this year, because it's our centennial, we're going to celebrate from Thursday through Saturday.
Oh, man,
we're going to have our pancake breakfast, which we've always done, open to the public. But instead of having one band, we're going to have 3 bands. We're going to go out throughout the whole day and stop right before fireworks. We'll have a lunch, and then we'll have a dinner also. Probably it'll be more like hamburgers and hot dogs. That's a good 4th of July meal.
Oh, heck yeah.
It should be a great time. And
what's the actual date in April?
What's that?
What's the actual date in April?
I want to say the 6th of April.
Okay.
Well, there was a date that they submitted the application, and then there was another date it came back accepted.
Okay.
We have that thing up on the wall. So we got this 100-year-old thing up on the wall there.
That's awesome, though.
Oh yeah. And what we're going to do on our Friday, 4th of July weekend, is that's when we're going to have our formal dinner and the actual Centennial Gala, and that'll be really nice. We'll have speakers. We'll have a band or a DJ. And one of the things we're looking to do is have a time capsule. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to put in it, and we'll probably do that at that dinner.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So did they do a time capsule when they built the place that you are in?
Well, if they did, we don't know where it is.
It got lost over the years.
Could be. Well, we had a fire. Our post had a big fire back in '79. And we did lose a lot of documents and things, but they rebuilt it, and it's a beautiful facility now.
So is the post still in the same location as it originated?
No. We had a building, a very small building. I think that's where the Girl Scouts started? I can't remember. But
Cub Scouts.
Cub Scouts. I'm sorry. It's where the Cub Scouts started. And the city of Newport Beach says, hey, you guys are growing. Tell you what, we'll give you this we'll rent you this property over here. We'll move your little building. And they put it on a trailer. And it was, it took the whole street up, I'm sure, but they moved it over to the post. And that's our hut. That's what the Yacht Club uses. And we still have that.
But so then you still have the original. How cool is that?
Yeah, so that's in our parking lot. And then we have our main building, which the city rents to us. Yeah. So it's a really nice facility.
Heck
Aw.
yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I was trying.
That's pretty cool.
I'm on the website right now. I was looking at the history of the post, and it was like, let's see, um, enough money was raised to purchase a building site on 10th Street in Newport Beach from the city for an enormous sum of $1,500. With the property went a 25-year lease on the tidelands intervening between it and the bay. October 2025 construction. So 1925, October 1925 construction began. The building, complete with all equipment, including wiring and plumbing, cost $1,900 and was financed by a mortgage from the Bank of Balboa.
That'd be cool if you could buy a place for $1,900
I know,
now.
right?
Absolutely.
The first meeting was held in the hut December 2nd, 1925.
I just saw my birthday.
And then first membership drive February 16, 1926, resulted in total post membership of 80. Now that it's so cool to see that history, because a lot of times history gets lost. And you guys look like you've done a great job of, keeping all of your history there. And I'm assuming you do have an historian, if I remember correctly. I'm assuming over the years your historians have written this down and kept everything, legible and up military tip top shape, I'm assuming.
Well, we have lots of photo books you need to digitize.
Nice.
But what our historian's doing now is he's trying to capture, and he's working with Kelly to capture veteran stories. So we still have World War II veterans.
Oh man,
and, they're over. Well, one of them is going to be 102 next month.
Holy cow!
Several years ago, 3 years ago, I believe it was, we had 30. We had a luncheon for World War II veterans. And we had 36 show up.
Wow,
it was a great time. 2 years ago, we had 22. Last year, we only had 14. So we'll come up November. Hopefully, we'll still have plenty, but those numbers are dwindling. We do have a few hundred Korean War veterans, and then we have over 2,000 Vietnam veterans.
Yeah, that is. Unfortunately, we talked about it. I forget what episode we were talking about. The history that we have no longer we have any World War I veterans. The World War II veterans are slowly dwindling down. I think I was talking with Go for Broke, which is in Los Angeles, which focuses on the Japanese American soldiers from World War II. And he was telling us that, at first, when they first started the organization, there was a plentiful of World War II veterans that were Japanese Americans. And then over the years, he's seen that number dwindle down to where last year, I think he said that they had maybe 4 left. And then they found a couple more that was scattered throughout the country that they didn't know about at the time. So I was like, man, it's crazy because history dies when these gentlemen that, sign their name on that dotted line, for World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and so forth. When they get up in age and they pass on and go to heaven or wherever they might go, the stories that they have in their brains disappear. And for somebody out there that wants to take and write these stories down, I think that's amazing because what that happens is when you write their stories down, you keep their memory alive because if their stories are passed down from generation, you're preserving their history. So that's awesome. I love it. So what else we want to talk about, Mr. Nick?
Well,
right. So
actually said, I'm sorry, Nick. Like,
that's right.
Have we actually said that this is the American Legion, the only one that has a yacht club?
No, we haven't said that yet. We were going to save that for later. You just ruined the surprise.
I can't help it.
God.
They're talking about being on the marina. We've already said that.
I know, but we didn't have to say they had a yacht club yet.
Okay, I ruined the surprise. But surprise, like, how cool
Yes, we
is
do.
that?
So we have a beautiful facility over here that we're always constantly maintaining. Obviously, for many reasons, we're on the water, but we're also a little older. So, the adjutant of the post, in addition to the responsibilities of keeping all the records of the post and also communications between our higher up and the membership, I also am the chairman of the house committee. And a small group of us meet once a week to maintain the operations, the kitchen, the bar. So we run a very sizable operation here. Pretty much, I'm not really sure. I think we're at the top of gross income compared to other legions. We're open 7 days a week. We have just an ultimate high number of events, both for the members and also some of them are open to the public. But we do a lot of fundraising. We do a lot of service and awards for the community. We're basically, the American Legion has 4 pillars: national defense, Americanism, the youth and the children programs that we have. And also, in addition to that, it's veteran rehabilitation. And I'm going to leave that pillar for Corey to talk about a little bit. But on constantly, every single week, we bring up all the maintenance that's needed at the post to make sure that the members come over here. They're in a healthy environment. The building is looking good and clean. We're constantly painting, fixing up stuff that just needs it. Or always looking for suggestions from the members to see what else we could do. Most of our events here are a lot of fun. As the commander was talking earlier about the bands, we have a huge amount of live band that contract with us. I believe, and Commander can correct me if I'm not wrong, but we have approximately 60 or maybe even more bands that constantly rotate here. So it's never the same. And we also have DJs and speakers that come over here. The community is extremely involved. We've had a Chamber of Commerce event here, local politicians that come, businesses. We have training. We hold a lot of training here for our members. And we also have job fairs and working very closely with the other nonprofit organizations in Orange County, California, to assist or collaborate to make sure that we reach out to all the members county-wise.
That's awesome.
I can go on, but I'm going to leave some time for my colleagues here to pitch in and see
so
if
I'm on the website. I'm going to share this because there is a lot of things. So this is the events page. You got the over here. You got the American Legion Family Day, which is Sunday, April the 28th, from 12 to 4,
and that's open to the public. So we want our community to be highly involved in it, and the children, and to make sure that we also use it as an awareness day for veterans locally to come and join us and become members.
That's awesome. That's awesome there. That especially allowing the public in. Then you got Jazz and Blues on the Bay, Brian Cabrera, Thursday, April 25th from 6 to 8:30. See, that would be fun. Sitting out on the marina, listening to the water, the waves crashing, and listening to jazz and blues.
That's an event that's always sold out. It's very popular. The food is great here. We have great staff that prepare it.
That's awesome.
And the commander never misses one.
Now this is all of April, and I know we're getting ready to be at the end. So you got Friday the 26th, you got Clever Souls. Sunday the 28th, you got Lost Generations karaoke with KG Summer.
Yes.
So it looks like if you go to the events page on their website, which I'm gonna put that at the bottom of the screen here and put it into the chat as well. You can see all the events that they got coming up. I mean, there's a plethora of events, and I applaud you for that, because there's a lot of American Legions and VFWs here locally in our area that have some events. They don't have nearly what you guys got going on, and I applaud you guys for that, because that tells me that within your post, your leadership gels together pretty good because you have events for the community, you have events just for the post itself, and dude, it's amazing. I love what you guys are doing. So that's
Well, we're very, very fortunate. We're one of the few posts that have a full-time staff.
Yeah.
So our kitchen runs 7 days a week, and that gives us the availability to do events because we can make our own food and have host everybody. We have, besides we rent our hall out for weddings and celebrations of life. This Wednesday we're going to have our steak and cigars out by the water. So
how cool is that?
and then it's something that we can do, and it's very easy. We just have to coordinate with our kitchen manager and the chef to make sure that they have the right things that they need, and away we go. So
I love it.
Well, you're very lucky to have, a beautiful property, like to have that. There's a real advantage of having that right on the water, and be able to host things, and you look at things like weddings and things like that. Like, it's looking at the picture of that right there. Like,
it's very inviting.
Yeah.
So we're looking at like the picture on the website where it scrolls through, and it's the front awning, coming into the post where it's blue.
Water behind
and you see the water with the marina and stuff. It's
one
amazing.
One of our members' granddaughter is holding her wedding here, I believe, the 27th. And we're very proud to host one of our members, his granddaughter. So
that's awesome.
Them here.
That's awesome. I love what you guys are doing. So Corey, let's talk about some of the programs that you got going on within the post and the community.
So a couple programs that we have. One of the events that we started last year is we started a coffee talk. Coffee talks have become very popular in the country. Last year, where we're at right now, where me and Nick we're in the fireside room. Our first meeting that we had 6 veterans show up. Just recently, we had a coffee talk, and we had 118 attendees.
Oh my goodness!
Holy cow! One year, we went from 6 attendees to over 100. So it's built. It's a safe place for veterans to come, supporters of veterans. We opened it up months after it was veterans. We opened it up. We created a safe place, not to have social workers, not at the time, not to have social workers, to be able to come in so we can have more peer support. We can have more access to services. We have people coming. We have a couple sponsors that have provided breakfast. They come in, and services that are free to veterans. Services that are free. And we've had people come in here to get cell phones, linkage to service. We've had disability compensation officers come in here, literally file their claims as they walk in. We have advocates for women veterans, advocates for senior veterans, advocates for student veterans. We try to cover everything. It's something that we built. It might be the biggest coffee talk in the country. I'm still doing a little bit of research on that, but we worked really hard to create a safe place for veterans just to walk in and embrace them. Because we've had a couple veterans that have walked in and suicide has been brought up. Mental health has not been very good. They lost their job. They're homeless. Our post with that Veterans Emergency Assistance Fund, we have the capability to put a veteran or their family in the motel the same day.
Oh, that's
no
awesome.
meeting, no red tape. We don't have to go through the VAs. Call us. We don't call the VAs. We don't. We work with the VA, but we also work with all the other service organizations as well. So the coffee talk has been very, very big, and it continues to keep growing. Gaming night. We do gaming every last Friday of the month. Why are we doing gaming night? We're doing gaming night because we thought it was a good idea to bring in some of our post 9/11 vets that are more isolated, and they don't prefer to go to service organizations, sometimes the VA, very isolated group. And it's been successful. Our first showing, I think we had maybe 2 people show up. And then our last one we had last month, we had 22 show up.
That's awesome.
We also opened it up to first responders. So we opened it up to first responders, It's been successful. They come in, we have a whole setup, maybe 8 monitors, very organized. We used a group called Krager Gaming, Jordan Kirby, who does an amazing job. And he's also a volunteer and also a member here now. He loves it. He loves helping people. It also adjusts to what he's trying to accomplish, and that's to deal with the suicide prevention. They come here, we provide dinner. Okay. We don't just do hamburgers and hot dogs. I mean, the last time we had a group come in here, we had ribeyes on the menu. We had filet mignon on the menu. So we really take good care of them. We've had a couple in here that had some real serious issues. And, after a couple times, after a couple months, they opened up and they finally talked to some of us. Sometimes it could take a couple months, but they kept coming back, opened up. We didn't realize a couple of them were homeless. A couple of them were maybe going through a divorce, maybe family crisis, mental health wasn't that great. And we were able to link them up with services. We were able to provide peer support. We were able to treat them like human beings.
That's awesome.
We love you. Come in here. That's what we do.
Yeah, I love about that 22 is that 22 people are not a part of the 22.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like being able to bring that in and have that so isolated and
point,
is beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing because you're hitting all different facets. So you brought in like the gaming, a gaming night. Then you brought in the coffee talk. And I know some of the organizations that I was involved with. We had like a coffee and camaraderie where we would go to different coffee houses around the city, and we started out with, like you said, just a small few, and it grew. But the only problem with doing it like at different coffee houses, they were very limited on space, on how many people could fit into the building or whatnot. But just doing the coffee talk, I mean, you get the, no therapist there, no anything like that. It's just peer to peer, veteran to veteran. And you get there and it's kind of like sitting around a fire pit. If you're out in the woods and you're sitting around a fire pit and you get the chit chat, and it's something about that connection. And the military brotherhood is like no other. I mean, you got I can't say like no other, because your fire, your police, your fire, and your EMTs, they have that brotherhood as well. And it's just something about it. Like I can walk into a restaurant or a bar, or not a bar because I don't go to bars, but like go to a restaurant or somewhere like that and see another veteran, and I can spot a veteran pretty quickly. And it's just like, and you gravitate to those, you gravitate towards other veterans. It's amazing what you guys are doing there at Post 291 in Newport Beach, or Newport Harbor. I don't want to say Newport Beach, but Newport Harbor.
Corey is pretty humble. He's done a lot, and he's received multiple awards constantly every year. He does a great job. In addition to all these events that he's talking about with the coffee talk, we also have some events that are not necessarily every single month. One of them was just a few weeks ago. It was a ruck march from one city to another, from Huntington Beach, California to Newport Beach to the Post. And later on, we had a lunch over here, a big barbecue. But it was all driven for awareness for the community. We invited the Elks also, and they joined us. We had other members from Legion Posts from other locations. It was all about suicide awareness. Now, I know that, a lot of people talk about it, but we actually not only just invite them here, but we try to talk to them, counsel them, see if we could help in any way, shape, or form. Corey just recently received the Presidential Award. I mean, he's recognized not just here in the city, but nationally. So, he doesn't talk much about himself, but he does an incredible.
The good ones never do. The good ones never do. But it's, it's not just that event you're talking about a couple of weeks ago, even if it's not monthly, from what you guys are talking about and listening to, especially. So I was in my organization for 15 years and I walked away from that. But the goal, like you're hitting all of those things that hit my heartstrings. And I'm like, I know what that means. And I know what you're doing. And I know the time and the effort that it takes to put into that. So like, I absolutely talk about applauding somebody, Corey, hands down, like you're doing amazing things. And you're doing it on a daily basis. Like, you can talk about having these monthly events or whether they're quarterly or once a year, but you and I both know you guys all at Post 291 are doing these things on a daily basis
Yep.
and hard telling, because you guys will never know, we will never know the number of lives you saved by just a simple act of kindness, or an invite into a safe place, or just the opportunity
Yeah.
of you had somebody there that they didn't know was a resource, and you guys are doing that so well, so beautifully, and yeah, like I got goose pimples everywhere because
So
it's
we need to take the
exciting.
model of Post 291 and spread that throughout the country. Not saying that there's not other American Legions that are doing great things as well. I just think the model that you guys have at Post 291 there, it's working, and it's working
Because
beautifully.
it's the way you're supposed to do it. It's the way it's
Yeah,
set up.
I
Like,
know.
that's
I
you're
want
doing
to
what
say
you're
that
supposed to be
I
doing.
want to say whatever we do over here, the commander supports us 100%. He's always
Mhm.
behind us. But I want to say that nothing is a secret here. So if anybody
Yeah.
ever needs any type of information or assistance to go forward, please, you could reach us at any time and we'll help. Other posts, recruiting, any ideas that we're doing, it works. We love it. And we pray that what you said is true, that, no matter how small we could help, or one number or multiple people, by just opening up the doors, listening to them, and seeing what we could do. But definitely, we pray for that every day.
I
Well,
think,
yeah, absolutely. Because you even talk about like your first one that you only had 2 people. That was 2 people.
yeah,
And that was 2 people that may not have had that opportunity, but
yeah.
those 2 people matter so much.
I think
Yeah,
there's
so
something to Willis and Candace. I think this is something else that you'll appreciate. So our Veterans Emergency Assistance Fund, a lot of organizations out there ask for money for veterans, and sometimes it gets there and sometimes it doesn't. We know
Yeah.
that. We know that. But the Veterans Emergency Assistance Fund that we have is a restricted account. It's been voted on. We all agree. Evan, Nick, our whole leadership, we agree. So what that means is when our donors donate to that VEAF, it's restricted, which means it only goes to the veterans and their families. It cannot be used on maintenance. It can't be used on improving the post. It can't be used on none of it. It goes directly to the veteran.
yeah.
And that's one of the things I really appreciate here, because it allows me to do my job effectively.
Mhm.
And the donors know the numbers are reported every month
Yeah.
in, defining everything, every single dollar that's spent and where it went. And so the funds are transparent.
Yeah. And that's the way it should be with a 501c3 anyway.
Mhm.
So let's say I have a 501c3 that I started. Let's say HomeFront Sitrep was a 501c3, and Candace decided, hey, I'm going to donate $10,000 for your equine therapy program that you have. Well, I have to put that money into a separate account just for the equine therapy, or
Or
it's got to be
earmarked.
earmarked or
Mhm.
earmarked for equine therapy. And where a lot of veteran service organizations go awry is when they start an organization, they don't really know the ins and outs. So they start a VSO, and they start getting donations in. Well, they don't earmark that money.
Mhm.
And what catches them is when they do get audited, because they will get audited, whether they're a C3 or C19, they will get audited. And they have to have that. Yes, transparency is key. You are correct, Chris Raymond. So this guy here, Christopher Raymond, if you guys need to check,
They need to connect.
yeah, you guys need to check out Christopher Raymond at Veteran Hundo Club. But where a lot of these VSOs go awry, like I said, they don't properly earmark the funds that are coming in, and then they wind up spending it on something that they shouldn't be spending it on, and that's what catches them. Now, if they don't have, so you got to have your treasurer, and then you also a lot. What is I would recommend is an outside bookkeeper that has nothing to do with the organization, but they keep your books together. That way, if somebody does say, well, how transparent are you?
Checks
Then
and
you can bring
balances.
you can bring the bookkeeper and say, well, I got an outside bookkeeper that has nothing to do with the organization, and here's the books, and everything is like it's supposed to be, because that's where a lot of organizations they fall. And I'm luckily, like the VFWs and the American Legions and the other post, other post outs there,
DAV.
DAV,
Let
vets.
me help you out.
There's I mean, there's so many of them out there, and 99% of the time the posts are going to have everything in order like it's supposed to be. But it seems like you guys have taken an extra step to make sure you are 100% transparent, to make sure that money that's supposed to be dedicated for this or that is where it's supposed to be, and restricted to a certain extent. I love it. It's awesome.
The organization here, the Post, it's fairly large enough for us to be able to do these things. I mean, I don't want to say that it works everywhere, but it's working for us because, in addition to the transparency, we do have a full-time staff that works here at the office to keep the books correct, to keep, everybody in their place. We do have a financial officer also that does it, but we also have an HR company that does the employment, the payroll, and everything else. So even the training of the employees. So, it's fairly large operation and a large business, but veterans first. So, that being said, that could work at every post, when you're doing anything and everything for veterans.
Yeah, and it should. Yeah, I love, like when Kelly reached out to me and I started researching you guys, and I was like, man, this is cool. And, going over your website and stuff like that, and then seeing the history aspect of it, 100 years you guys have been in Newport Harbor, and you've been dedicated to helping the veterans in your community and first responders in your community, because you open it up to first responders, you open it up to the community, so the community can come in and interact with these veterans, because a lot of times the stigma is on the civilian side is veterans are broken. That's the stigma. Unfortunately, we're not broken. We might have our scars. We might, but for the most part, we just need an ear to talk to. And that's what you guys are doing when you open it up to the public, so that random passerbyers can come in and see what is going on within a post like your guys' post,
or even the isolated events, though.
Or
that's
even
a huge
nice.
thing.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just amazing that you guys are willing to open your doors to non-veterans, because a lot of VFWs, a lot of your other American Legions don't open their doors to outsiders. Like I know one of the VFWs that I went to a couple times as a non-member, they didn't want outsiders coming in. Even me being a veteran,
you there.
Yeah, even me being a veteran, I was a younger generation veteran. They're like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
We're still an American Legion, and you have to be a member. So members bring their guests. So we have lots of guests show up, but we have special events for the public.
Right.
We're not open to the public.
That's
right. Just opening the events to them.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant was opening for at the events that you have, not them coming in and being members of the post, but as coming for events and coming as a guest. That's what
they're able to come in and see what you're doing, and if it's something that they're able to find a way to be a part of it or help in some way. So okay, so that brings a question to me. So as far as I ruined the surprise. You have a yacht club. So is that only accessible for members?
You have to be a member. You have to be a Legionnaire or a son of the American Legion or auxiliary, and then you can join the Yacht Club. And they have really taken off. They have a scuba group that dives, and now they go to Fiji. And they first they started, it was just for 2 weeks, and now they have so many people who want to go to Fiji. It's a 5-week event.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And they also we have a sailboat.
Thinking
we have a sailboat and a Duffy, which is the electric boat. So if you're a member of the Yacht Club and you get certified on those watercraft, you can then take them out for free.
Oh, that's freaking amazing.
So this man, as long as I've known him, has never wanted to join a VSO as a veteran. He's been part of other organizations like Grassroots. Right now, I can already see his wheels spinning. He's like, his wife's always wanted to move to Florida. She might get half of her wish, that warm weather, because now he's sitting here going,
No,
can I pull it off?
I'm
Can I
thinking.
move to Newport Harbor?
Well, I'm thinking if I move to Tampa, which is kind of where we're planning on moving, seeing if there's a American Legion on the
Not
water.
that one.
Yeah, it's not this one, but
this is the one to go to. What are you
Um,
thinking? Just go out to California. You get it's not humid. Like the humidity is.
Well, I used to live in St. Petersburg.
Okay,
It's right
yeah.
next to Tampa, across the bay. And
California
there
is
is a
better.
beautiful post in the St. Petersburg area. It's on the water, on the intercoastal. They don't have a yacht club, they don't have a marina, but they do have docks, so people bring their boats up and can, get food and drink. The only problem is in Florida, summer times are miserable.
Oh yeah.
In
So-
California, you don't sweat when it's hot.
Well, I told the wife I wanted to move to Montana. That's where I want to go. I want to move to Montana or Wyoming. That's where I want to go.
Compromise, California.
But she wants to go to the beach because she likes sand. I had enough sand in my day in the military. I don't need to see any more.
So you guys are in Orange County, right?
Correct.
So you said, what's that? What's it called? It's the theme park that's right there. Knott's Berry. Is that what it is?
Knott's Berry Farm. It's in
That's
So
Buena
how
Park.
close are you to that?
That's north of LA. And
No,
Disneyland is only about 10 miles away?
I thought Knott's Berry was in Orange County.
Knott's Berry Farm is in Buena Park, California. It's North Orange County, right next to Anaheim.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was there. So
Knott's Berry Farm was actually a berry farm
yes.
that opened up some rights for the kids, and that's how it started. And now it actually is a very large competitor to Disneyland. And they're not that far away from each other, a few miles away from each other.
No, it's really cool. So like one of my best friends grew up there in Buena Park, and so we went out. We flew out and then drove back to Indiana from California. I know that's
There's another park, Six Flags Magic Mountain. I think that's what the commander was referring to.
That's
It's,
what I'm thinking, yeah.
in Santa Clarita, which is also just outside north of Orange County.
yeah. Knott's Berry is just another one of those cool ones that has a neat little story behind it and stuff.
But we
Yeah.
have SeaWorld,
California's
we have
beautiful.
Lego Land. We have a
Lego
lot.
Land,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So my wife, one of our good friends was stationed at Camp Pendleton, and my wife flew across country because they were selling their house because he was getting out. He was overseas. I forget. He was on deployment, and his wife sold the house. And my wife and his wife, two twins, and the older child, drove across country from California back to Kentucky, and
That's what we did.
and she loved it. I mean, she loved everything that she saw out there. But I think her heart's set on Florida, moving there. But
Take her
yeah,
out to the yacht club. She might change your mind.
I
And
seriously
then you
doubt
take
it.
her up to Hesperia because that's what we did in Hesperia.
You're not gonna let the yacht club go.
She's not going to let.
This is his. No, this is what he was stupid excited about with us. He's been talking about this for weeks. Like, yes, they have a yacht club. You're
Dude,
the only one that he's so excited about.
It's
It's
the
the
only.
yacht club.
It's the only American Legion post with a yacht club, and it's
He's on this
And we
adrenaline
have
thing.
reciprocal benefits. So we could use other yacht clubs that belong to our kind of area. And
Nice.
one overseas even, yeah.
He's making it more inviting. For
I know
you.
he is.
Look.
But no, I don't know if I could live in California. Nothing against the state. I just don't know if I could live in California. I'm a country boy. I like my guns. I like eating meat and stuff. I just don't know about moving to California.
Orange County is a little
we
different
don't
than
talk
LA.
about politics on this show.
Orange County's a little different.
Oh, yeah. They
Yeah.
call it the Orange Bubble.
Oh, okay. All right. I love it. No, but no, I'm super excited about what you guys are doing with American Legion Newport Harbor Post 291. If you're out there watching in Facebook land, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching it, the link, the website's right there at the bottom. I also posted it in the chat as well.
Check them out.
Go check them out. if you happen to be traveling and you happen to be in Orange County, California, call the post and set up a visit and go check them out and be a guest for the day. And
No, is your dining open to the public?
No,
No.
again, you have
Okay.
to be a guest.
You got to be a guest of a
Okay.
member.
Okay. Well, still, I mean, just covering all those bases,
Yeah.
just in case.
So let's say just some random veteran shows up at your door
Mhm.
and knocks and say, "Hey, I want to come in and see." How does that work?
Well, it depends who greets them. If it's a member like one of us, we can usually sign them in as a guest and show them around because we want to get new members.
Yeah.
And or maybe somebody who needs some help. We can tell them what we do and how we can possibly help them. But yeah, we open up for veterans, just give them a show, but if they can't keep coming back.
Right. Not without signing up to be a member.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now with that being said, all of the places are different on what your requirements are and what your eligibility is. So what is it that makes somebody eligible to be a member of, to be a Legionnaire, to be a part of the auxiliary, to be a son of? Because do they have the daughter of yet?
Well, each is different. To be a Legionnaire, you have to be an honorably discharged veteran who served after December 7th, 1941.
After 41, okay.
Right. Now, for the sons, you have to be the son of a veteran or the grandson of a veteran.
Okay.
I'm a member of the sons also. I'm what they call a dually. I'm in both. Right. My dad was in World War II, so get to do that. The auxiliary is for the spouses and the daughters and granddaughters. So that's how you get that.
So not siblings.
Well, yeah, daughters of a veteran or granddaughters.
Brothers cannot sign up their sisters. It has to be for the auxiliary. They have to be a spouse or a daughter, granddaughter to sign up for the auxiliary. The sons,
okay.
A son or a grandson.
Okay. Well, I know everybody has an eligibility wheel that's different. So that's why I was asking. So something to put out there for people.
Well, no, that's pretty good. I actually had somebody come in to ask a question about if they could join, and it was a stepfather. He served.
Yeah.
And that question, I leave it up to the sons to answer those. Usually, but I saw that it worked out because he was living at the house with them, and so that's acceptable too.
Okay. Yeah. So there's some things that they brought in. I can talk about one other one I won't name because right now we're talking about the American Legion, but where they have added on step family, but they also do siblings, and they go 2 steps away as far as like parent, grandparent, and then child, grandchild
to be an auxiliary,
and then your siblings. Yes. But they've added on step family and adopted into that, because that was something that it gets ran into sometimes. So looking at another organization and being able to share this with somebody, if it's something that you are around the Newport Harbor and somehow you haven't heard of American Legion Post 291, like here's what you need to be or marry to be a part of.
That's a good point that you're making about getting to know us, and that's where Kelly Bennett comes in so well. I mean, there's still a lot of people, even locally, that didn't know that we existed or what we are all about.
Right.
So she's helped us move tremendously forward on advertising and telling more about who we are and what we're doing in the community. So that is very, very important. That's also key to any other Legion, is that marketing and advertisement are very important, and being out there actively involved with the community gets them to know all about you.
So I got a question. Let's start out. We'll go all three of you answer this question. So how or what would you say to the younger generation, the ones that are, getting ready to get out of the military or just transitioned out of the military? What would you say to them to get them to come to Post 291 in Newport Harbor? And we'll start with the commander first, and we'll work our way around.
Well, again, we are so fortunate, with our venue being right on the water. Plus, something that we do is with our kitchen and our bar, we try to make things affordable. So we have food that for I think our hamburgers start at $12, and that comes with fries, and all the way up to prime rib. That's $24. Now we had to raise our prices, but
That's it
yeah,
for prime rib though in California.
on the water. And we do
On the
that on
water.
jazz night. So you have a live jazz band, you're sitting on Newport Harbor, and you're having a prime rib for $24.
And smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
I love it.
that's out. Yeah, that's over in the smoking area. But no, that's the kind of things that we want to do for our veterans, and not only the veterans, but also the sons and the auxiliary, because being the child of or the spouse of a veteran can be very, very trying. And I'm sure you know, Willis.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't realize that when I was in Iraq. I thought, okay, I'm in Iraq. I'm dealing with all this stuff. My family's home, safe in Virginia.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize, my children they were 10 and 11 at the time. When they'd go to school, the kids would go, "Oh, did your dad get killed yet?"
Yeah.
And my kids, they were having a tough time.
Yeah.
And my wife, she volunteered with the USO and was doing things at Walter Reed to kind of keep herself busy. But until I saw it, there was a gentleman I know named Jake Rademacher who did a movie, Brothers at War. And in there, he got embedded with his brothers who were in Afghanistan and Iraq. And he talked about all of that because he wanted to experience that. But then he talked to the families and the spouses. And that, boy, that really struck home to me. I didn't realize what they went through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I highly recommend, watching that movie if you haven't seen it yet.
What was the movie again?
Brothers at War.
Brothers at War. Okay.
And he just did a second one.
At War or Brothers of War?
Brothers at War. And he just finished his second movie, Brothers After War. So all the people he was embedded with 15 years ago, he follows them now and they're veterans and sees how they've done in their lives and how they've been affected. Yeah, he's been doing resiliency workshops for post-deployment. They watch the movie with the spouses and the family members, and it's been great. Now he's moving to doing it with veterans with his new movie.
Okay. I love it. All right, Corey, what would you say to the up and coming generation and how to get them to be a member of American Legion Post 291?
Well, for me, because I actively I work with every population in the veteran community. For me, I would like to get them down here so they can observe it for themselves, and then I can have that talk with them. But one of the big things for me is we're going through a current transition right now where the new guard is kind of coming in now with the old guard passing away, and they want to be able to count on their post 9/11 vets moving forward to carry the torch. So when we get people to come here, I tell them that there's something for everybody here. And if there's not, that's your opportunity to come in, give us your ideas and be engaged so they can be a part of a team again. That's so critical. And that's where these great ideas come. They come up, and that's where we can do things and put things together. They can help us plan it. We'll have the funding for it potentially. And when they're engaged in stuff like that, then they stay. The hard part, it's not hard getting people to come in here to join. The key is retaining them.
Yeah.
That's the key. So you have to keep them engaged. And that's what I try to implement to them. What are your ideas? Get involved. Tell me what's on your mind. I want to know what you think. And that usually works very well for me.
No, I love that, because I was making reference to one of the other non-American Legion post, when new ideals were brought to leadership, they pretty much rejected all new ideals.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is when you got the younger generation say, "Hey, let's do a karaoke night, or let's do a bring a band in," and leadership shoots that down. Well, that's going to make that younger generation vet either go to a different post or stop going altogether. So I love the fact that you just sat there and said that you listen to what they say and you help make that happen, because a lot of times, like I said, if the leadership is not willing to entertain the ideal of the younger generation, then what'll happen is the VFWs, the American Legions, will eventually go away because the younger generation doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So no, I love that answer, and I think you hit it pretty much on the head there. And Evan, I want to speak back to what you were talking about with the families. I'll go to Nick next. He's next. But before I forget my brain, what my thought in my brain, because you know that TBI that I got. You are correct when you say families serve as well, and a lot of organizations out there forget that, you know, whether it be the husband or the wife that's at home, and the military members, you know, overseas deployed, you know, mom, dad at home, and children that are at home are serving as well. And they serve at a different capacity than the military member themselves. And it's we had an interview just not too long ago. Michelle Black, she's a Gold Star widow, and she wrote the book called Sacrifice. She's up in Washington State, and her husband was a Green Beret, and he had deployed 6 or 7 times before. And then this last deployment that he went on, before he left, she got that bad feeling that something wasn't right. And you know, he deployed. She's doing her things at home, and her son at the time, who was 9 years old, come up to her a week before he got in an ambush and said, "Mama, Daddy's not coming home this time." A week before he got ambushed and died. And so, with that being said, families serve as well. They serve in a different capacity. Like you said, children, you know, children at school are, you know, saying, "Hey, well, has your daddy died in war yet?" and stuff like that. That's very traumatizing for kids. And a lot of people don't realize that, you know, the spouse and the children, they have their own form of PTS. We have our PTS, but they have their form of PTS, because every time dad leaves or mom leaves, in their brain, are they coming home? Kind of like you know what you said, are they coming home? So no, you hit it, you hit it perfectly. So Nick, let's move to you, sir.
All right. So, you know, in addition to what the commander and Corey said, you know, both did explain it very well. What I like to do in my vision here at Post 291 is that, since we're blessed with the location, with the operation, with the funds that are available, I would like to have some kind of central location where most of the veteran organizations come together, collaborate. But you were asking about the transition. So you get veterans that are coming out of the military that don't know what the American Legion is all about or what the VFW is about. And by the way, I'm the commander of the VFW post currently in Moreno Valley here. So
okay,
I run that post too. And when they leave the military, these organizations are supposed to be their sponsors. They're the organizations that they could reach to be able to get assistance, because the day they get out, if they do an about face from that gate after they're out, they can't go back on base for anything unless they are already rated by the VA and they're getting their benefits and what have you. But they can't go back on base to ask, "Hey, where's my paycheck? Who's going to be paying my bill? Where do I rent an apartment from?" You know, most of these things in the community are available through the American Legion. So a transition program is something that I would like to even add to a lot. When we say auxiliary and Sons of the Legion or Legion, I always refer to all three of those as our family, but all members of the American Legion. So, you know, when I speak with the auxiliary, I see what they're looking for. And they're looking for maybe possibly having morning biscuit and tea events for the ladies, for the widows. They want to get together. We have to open up for them to also have their activities here. We want to include book readings groups maybe to start. So we have a venue. It's so beautiful. All we have to do is plan these things around. I mean, looking into having maybe permanent leagues, maybe what do they call that? Not the tennis, but the
pickleball.
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Pickleball is a big thing right now.
It's
So I'm
huge
looking
right
at
now.
maybe starting a league for that for our post. And
Yeah.
also bocce. You know, all of these games people love to get together. The community already has them. So teaming up with the community for us to actually have our own teams would be great. You know, possibly storytelling for the kids, maybe a pancake breakfast for the kids once a week or once a month. Um, we do have some people are talking to me right now to include some activities also during the day for, you know, people that want to stretch or do yoga or
Yeah, I
some of those
remember.
activities to have some sort of a format for us to have it on our schedule. So, you know, as much events as we do have today, I would love to double or triple them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
so
and we're very fortunate because we can afford to try things.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, we try it out, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then we don't do it
Right.
anymore.
So another thing we touched base on a little bit is, you know, how would we educate our community? And we have one program that actually Corey and Michelle started called Military 101, bringing the non-veteran businesses to know how to work with the veterans and also to educate them on the benefit of hiring a veteran.
Yeah.
So that's another training that we do here at the Post that's grown, and it's growing even more now.
Well, that's awesome because there's a lot of non-veteran business owners out there that hire veterans, but they don't understand um, the veteran mentality. They don't understand that, you know, that veteran's dealing with PTS. Yes, he might be quick to anger, he might be quick to snap, but there's also ways of dealing with that veteran that they're not really educated on to be, you know, to handle that situation.
Well,
So
even dealing with veterans benefits, for example, a real estate agent might find a home for a veteran, but because of their discharge classification, might not qualify for a VA benefit on their loan. So we educate them on how to work with them. We also work with Veteran Legal Institute to make sure that we see if there's a possibility of a benefit discharge upgrade to help them continue with, you know, it might be something that's silly that we could actually turn around and change.
no, I love it.
I
No,
tell you
it's
what,
awesome.
whatever service officer is coming in has got some big old shoes to fill. Are
So-
you staying? Or
Yeah,
Oh no,
I think
my fund meter's pegged.
yeah, I think both of you can agree. Like we live for this stuff. This is my life every
Absolutely.
day. I don't feel good if I'm not doing this work, and this is why I
Right.
put in the hour. I'm working 2 full-time jobs, and this is a full-time job right here. But I
Yep.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like we still have a lot of work to do out there. We're still helping Vietnam vets file disability claims. That's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and we ran into Purple Hearts, Silver Star, like, you know, and they're still needing support. Now we got the PACT Act that's been introduced. Like, we need people out there still serving our brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
No, I agree with you 100%. And there's an organization called the Roll Call Foundation here.
I was just thinking about
and,
that.
And Don Barbier, he's the
Oh.
one of the co-founders of that. I was just talking to him the other day because I've been out since 2004, and I just started my VA journey at the end of last year. So I'm just now going through the process and everything. But I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, I just had a 97-year-old veteran come to me and say, "Hey, I need to file my VA benefits."
He's had a lot in their 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, 70s, 80s, and
A lot.
90s. And he had one guy that was literally on death's door, literally on death's door, say, "Hey, I want to file for my benefits." Now, luckily, he started going through the VA, and now he's doing better. But you know, he was 98 years old.
Yeah, but Don has a way of getting those things expedited.
Yeah,
too.
and it's just like, it's like, holy cow. And me, you know, I was always under the impression, or not under the impression, but I'm not, you know, like, I didn't get blown up by an IED. I didn't get, you know, I do have severe PTS, hypervigilant anxiety and stuff like that. But I was dealing with it in my own way. And my wife will tell you that over the course of the last 10 years or so, it's got worse. And it took me doing this podcast. Now, I was always involved in veteran service organizations, but it took me doing this podcast and realizing that I can't sit here and tell veterans that they need to go to the VA if I haven't done it myself.
That's what I was going to say. If you didn't start this podcast, you would have been one of the 80-year-olds.
I probably would have been. You're right. You're right.
There's
But
sorry.
something else that we find is not only the veterans, but their spouses, because depending upon, burial benefits, if they died because of a service related issue, there's other benefits. And those are the things Corey helps out a lot of the spouses.
Yeah. Especially with the Agent Orange. I'm sure that's a huge thing right now. So having those benefits for what they're leaving behind is huge.
One area that we forgot to talk about is that the Legion itself, not just Post 291, but the Legion itself is one of the organizations that lobbies for veterans benefits in DC and in the state with the governor's office and in Washington, DC with Congress. So we are a very large force to, that has a voice out there for the veterans. So we're always making sure that they are protected in all their benefits. The ranking member of Congress that used to be the chairman of the VA and the deputy secretary of the VA visited my post not long ago with all the staff members and the doctors from the Point Loma VA hospital in the Inland Empire. And we discussed all the veteran benefits and the regulations and some bills that are being introduced. And we pounded on them to make sure that they are aware of what our concerns are and that the issues they need to pay attention to for veterans benefits. And with the process of a veteran when they arrive at the VA. And there was a lot of angry veterans voicing themselves about what the government needs to do for them. And at the end, we added that to be able to get through to the government, you really need to have a partner with you to be able to get your benefits. And that is the VFW and the American Legion. These organizations are very strong for veterans assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
legislative
programs within the two organizations are huge.
So I'm a union member of Communication Workers of America. And so we also have like our district, our different districts, and we have our teams that lobby in DC as well. So I've been very involved with, our political aspect of things. When it comes to that. And then one of my good friends, Don Bramer, he's a retired naval intelligence officer. He's also the founder of the Bramers Group, which is a lobby firm up in DC, and they lobby for veterans and stuff like that in DC as well. And there's a lot of things that need to be changed, and we've talked about it numerous times on the podcast. Is over I think what it's going to take is a grassroots movement of all these different veteran service organizations coming together and going to DC with, a list in hand of what things that need to be changed to expedite, veterans going to the VA and getting the care that they need and getting the benefits that they need. Whether I'm not expecting it to be done overnight, but I do know that the VA is backed up, and in some areas the VA is better than other areas. I just think that overall, nationally, I think there needs to be more of a standard operating procedure when it comes to the VA, how they handle different levels of PTS and different levels of this and different levels of that. For me, when I went and talked to the therapist at the VA, she's like, well, what you need is intermediate. You don't need the was it EARP or whatever. But you don't, and what I can give you is only 6 visits, and they're just basically like intake therapists and stuff. So I had to set up a community consult because the VA doctors wanted me to come at 10 o'clock in the morning Well, I work my normal day job from 7 a.m. to whenever I get done at night. So I couldn't make those 10 a.m. appointments. So I was like, look, we need to find me a therapist outside of the VA that can see me at the end of the day so I don't miss work. And luckily the VA was like, all right, let's do this. We'll set you up for community consult. Let's get, and then it got approved within a week. And then trying to find a doctor that would work with me, um, later in the day. It took a month or two, but we did find one. And I've been there, 4 times now so far.
Mhm.
And the doctor, he's not a veteran, but he's talked with a lot of veterans. He's in a lot of veterans and first responders. So I love it.
But yeah, I mean, like you're talking about, like a coalition of sorts.
Yeah.
Like it needs to happen. And it's like everybody always says, like, what can we do and how do we do it? Well, we come together. That's what we do. Is we come together and we fight for those that need us fighting for them.
Yeah.
So,
That's what
I
we're
did
doing
have to
here.
throw out there. If my daddy is still watching, I think we might have just planned our next vacation. We're going out to
There was a big push in Orange
Harbor and-
County for a veteran cemetery, and that took 10 years. But we got enough veteran organizations together. We go to the city council meetings, and they finally picked a place, and so that's being worked on. And we also have legislative people at our post who go up to Sacramento and meet up there and talk about giving like people who have 100% disability getting tax breaks on their property tax.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things like that going on that at the Legion at the post level gets involved with at the state level.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love it. And there's a lot of things that need to be changed.
Absolutely.
A lot of the rules and regulations are what's the word, antiquated, outdated, however you want to look at it, and they do need to be changed. I know it's a lot of red tape involved, and I think, like I said, it's going to take a grassroots movement where a collective of veterans, a coalition of sort, come together
And advocates.
and well, advocates too, to advocate for veterans in DC to get these things changed, whether it be on the state level or federal level. I think that's something that needs to be changed, and American Legions and the VFWs are at the forefront of that, because they already have the ear of your state senators and your representatives in Congress and stuff like that. So I just think that it just needs to be a coalition together. I love it.
You just keep building the village.
Yeah.
You get these like-minded. That's what I love about our podcast is we're talking to you guys from Newport Harbor, California.
Yep.
And what great way to bring, if we're able to connect them with Chris from Veteran Hundo Club, that's what it is. It's bringing everybody together for the same thing. We all want the same thing. We want our veterans to be okay, whatever that means, whether that's food on their table, a roof over their head, or the medical care that they need.
Yep.
We are all in this for the same reason. And that's what I was joking about. Like, Daddy, if you're watching, we're going out to Newport Harbor. I've only joined a VFW. We are life members, me and my daddy, of the VFW. But I found the Legion that we're going to join. Because it's just, looking at your guys' values and like you've said it, and even Chris has said it, the leadership that you guys have, and even, you know what, even Evan, if you're a turd and nobody likes you, it's you guys are doing something right, like collectively as a group and a family, because that's what it is. It's a family that comes together, and it's dysfunctional at times, but you come together for the greater good, and you're taking care of these people that need you, and you guys aren't just taking care of veterans. You're taking care of veteran families. You're taking care of the veteran. You're taking care of first responders. You're reaching out to your community, and everything that we've talked about in this hour and a half has just been, I've had goose pimples most of the time, because it is the things that we live for. Like, Corey, you're right about that. We live for this. I always say this is my passion. It's what I do.
Yep.
On
It's
May
my
6th,
therapy.
on May 6th, we're having a law and order event here recognizing 3 cities and the Harbor Patrol. It's Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, and the Harbor Patrol. This recognition has been going on for 57, 58 years now.
Yeah, police and fire.
I'm sorry, Commander?
Police and firemen.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's amazing what you guys are doing out there.
Yeah.
And like Chris said, these guys got the correct leadership model,
Mm-hmm.
and literally, you guys are leading from the front. You're not leading from the back.
Right.
And every great leader leads from the front. And it seems like what you guys are doing at Post 291 in Newport Harbor, you're leading from the front. And I applaud you guys. You guys are doing amazing things.
Well, thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Is there anything else that you guys want to touch on before I cut you guys loose?
No, I'll tell you.
How much time do we have?
Oh, Corey, turn your camera toward the harbor so they can see our view. I was trying to show you that earlier.
Holy.
From the boats.
Julie, if you're watching, we need to move to Newport Harbor, California.
Yeah, we're
Orange County.
forgetting about Florida. They have palm trees in California.
This is Corey's office right here.
Well, not only do we have palm trees, but the mountains that are about 10 miles from us have snow on top of them.
So yeah, I went to Hesperia when I was there, and so the palm trees are not the cool trees. The Joshua trees are my favorite tree.
Oh yeah,
I love the Joshua trees, and yeah, the snow on top of the mountains.
Well, she can have the low land. I'll have the high land. So
yeah, just
we'll buy 2 houses.
There you go. It's only a couple hours away.
Yeah. I like my snow and my cold weather. But no, man. Anything else that you guys want to talk about before I cut y'all loose?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for having us on here because
yes, thank you.
You know, I just see Veteran Hundo Club on here. That might be another great connection. We love working with new people, so we appreciate that as well. Not just what we do, but connecting with other people as well.
Well, before I let you go, I don't know if Chris has already sent email or not, but let's go ahead and give him your email or something that he can reach out to you guys, because I'm sure he's already itching to reach out to you guys.
Oh yeah, he is. He wants it.
Yeah, he definitely wants. If you want to type it in the chat there, Chris, I'm getting you an email for a contact. That way you can reach out to American Legion Post 291 in Newport Harbor, California.
Are you required to be a California resident to be a member of your post? You're muted. You're muted, Evan.
It's
important
muted.
information.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my puppy's here and she's been making noise. But if you join American Legion, one American Legion post, you can go to all of them. So you remember it all.
That's awesome.
Chat.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out how to send you the chat.
Oh, the private
chat. Here it is.
Okay.
Yeah, if you do private chat, it'll come directly to me. If you want to put it out into the regular chat, you want to make sure it's not on private.
Somebody's emailed that it's okay that people can reach out to you and ask questions about the post. Would even work too.
Well,
if you want to put that information
post
out there.
email, yeah. Oh, you sent it in private chat. Do you want me to put that out in regular chat, Corey?
Yes.
All right, let's see if I can.
Out to the public.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm doing that now.
And yeah, that's my email, adjutant.
All right, let me copy yours as well. That way, Mr. Christopher Raymond can reach out to you guys.
Connection.
Yeah, you could send it to anybody you want.
Well, I'm gonna put it out in chat. That way, they can, if they want to reach out, they can. There's one, and then here's the other one.
Nick, the adjutant. That's mine.
Okay.
Pick an email. Any email, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, it just depends on what you want to talk about. You can email both of them, and that way you.
Yeah, we work very closely. Everybody here, we work very closely with each other. So if you call us out by name or just email the question, I'm sure you'll get everybody answering you, trying to help you. So nobody turns anybody down here.
So when I get out there, I'm gonna be like, Nick said that I get filet mignon.
Well, you guys let us know. let us know ahead of time when you're coming out, because when you do come over, we'll get a boat reserved to take you out in the harbor.
she's like, let's go.
Now
Let's
I'm
go.
more excited than you are.
Yeah, you are.
And
No,
Willis,
I
you
love
got
it.
your meat. You got your steak too, buddy.
There we go. There we go. Steak and potato. That's,
Wait, do you guys have scallops?
Absolutely.
We have
Best
sometimes.
scallops I've ever had were out there when I was in Orange County.
We'll have to talk to the chef.
Was it called Taps or Tops? It's a seafood bar out there by the mall.
Is it
Taps?
It's Taps.
Yes. Oh,
Was
they're
it in Brea?
I can still taste them. I'm sorry.
Was it in Brea where you visited?
where did you go?
You know the city?
I know that we were in Buena Vista and we went to the mall and it was by the mall.
Santa Ana.
Santa Ana.
Yeah, Santa
That
Ana.
sounds more familiar. And that's where it was. And those were the most delicious scallops I've ever had in my entire life. And I can still taste them.
Well, we'll challenge our chef to see if he can match them.
Yeah, well, I mean, surely they're as fresh as they were when I came out there because that was 14 years ago.
She's more excited than I am.
That was 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago.
You're showing your age now.
I know, because I learned how to drive in LA on that stupid, crazy laned highway. That's where my best friend was like, here, we're going to learn how to drive. And I was like,
You picked the worst place in Earth to try.
I drive just fine now.
No, I'm talking about
And
to
that's
learn
why
to drive.
I didn't pick it. She did.
Holy cow.
But I drive just fine now. Let me tell you, I can drive anywhere, anyway. I know if you got an inch from bumper to bumper, you got room. LA taught me that.
Yeah, you learned to drive in LA.
Yep, absolutely. Well, how many lanes is that? Is it 8 lanes on each side at least?
We do have some 405s got 8 lanes on each side.
Yeah, that's where we were going into LA. We were going into Hollywood.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, gentlemen,
Yes.
I want to say thank you guys for coming on and hanging out here with us. And it's been amazing to learn about American Legion Newport Harbor Post 291.
And happy anniversary.
And happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
100 years is an amazing feat. I can't wait to see your time capsule. Are you going to put like a time lock on it when they're going to open, or maybe a next 100 years or 75 years or 50?
Well, we're in the process to look at building a memorial. We have a park right next door to the post, so we're going to bury it or put it in the memorial in Veteran Memorial Park. So everyone,
that's awesome.
we can't lose it. But you know, everybody's talking about global warming, so maybe be underwater. So we have to get a waterproof one. But
hey, you do have scuba divers that can go down and open it.
Yeah, the Yacht Club.
We're going to need a HomeFront Sitrep flyer, okay?
There you go.
We're going to need a HomeFront Sitrep flyer. We'll put it in that
can do
time
it.
capsule.
Okay.
We can do it. I'll get with Miss Kelly.
Just get on one of the shirts, marine it down.
Oh yeah. So back here is let me go grab it because
We're excited about this.
I have a
You
co-branded
got
shirt.
headphones on.
I know.
Okay. You are a marine.
All right. So sameflagsameoath.com. You see my commercial with Ace Ventura at the beginning. Same Flag, Same Oath is a veteran-owned company out in Texas. Matt and Becky Johnson are the owners. So they do co-branded shirts, and at the end of the year, HomeFront Sitrep will get a check for 25%. And what we're going to do this year is we're going to take all the veteran service organizations from the state of Kentucky, put them on a randomizer, and we're going to donate that money to one of those veteran charities in our state here in Kentucky. Well, this shirt,
it all came up during a podcast as a joke.
So it's marine it down. It's written in red crown. On this sleeve, it says HomeFront Sitrep. It's our logo. On this side, it's the Same Flag, Same Oath
You
flag.
never get to do this because you're wearing it and you never
Yeah,
want to turn
so
this up.
it's the Same Flag, Same Oath. And then on the back, it's got the Got Your Six Culture bullseye with the Morse code at the bottom. So like I said, we have that shirt there. You can go online. You can go to Same Flag, Same Oath and sameflagsameoath.com and order that shirt. And like I said,
So
we'll
we
get.
need to get one and send it to them for the time capsule.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that.
Thank you.
But that would be pretty cool to have in a time capsule, and somebody can look, 100 years from now and Google Homefront Sitrep, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a podcast for veterans."
Like marine it down.
Yeah, marine it down. And I know you guys being military, we always use the KISS method, and that's kind of where marine it down comes. Semper Gumby, marine it down. So
the commander wanted to put a memory stick in there, with some stuff, but then we don't know what kind of technology they're going to have then.
Right. I mean, they might be going to pawn shops or antique shops to find a computer.
Maybe like somebody giving you a floppy.
It'll all be in our head then. Like we'll be born and they'll put a chip in our head.
Oh, you have computers in your arms and shit.
Who knows?
100 years from now.
Who knows?
Well, guys, thank you again. Go enjoy that beautiful sunset, because I know it's getting close to sunset out there in California. Go enjoy that beautiful sunset.
And thank you again.
And thank you guys again. And I'll reach out to Miss Kelly and thank her again for reaching out to Homefront Sitrep, because she's the one that made this happen.
Yeah.
But thank you guys again. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye. How cool was that?
I'm going to California.
You're going to California?
Yeah.
Man, that was so cool though. I mean, just to hear that, because there's a lot of stigma around the American Legions and the VFWs because of bad publicity and bad leadership. It seems like American Legion, Newport Harbor Post 291, they have their stuff together.
Look, I don't even care about the Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, like, to perfectly honest, I've never thought about joining a Legion. And, like, it's really cool that they have a Yacht Club. But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's what a VSO is supposed to do.
What they're doing, is
beautiful.
And they open it up to let guests come in for special events and stuff like that, and they let the public come in and see. You're still coming.
Come on, Chris. We'll go to California together.
And see what they let the public see what's going on within the American Legion and what they do for veterans and first responders. I think it's amazing. And I want to thank Miss Kelly Bennett, for reaching out to us and say, hey, I think this would be right up your alley. And she was right, because our motto at Homefront Sitrep is we want to collab with as many different organizations as possible, because if I have a veteran come up to me and say, hey, I need help with outdoor therapy, I can say, all right, do you want to go, you want to go Jeep riding? You want to go horseback riding? What do you want to do out there? You want to go fishing? I got 20.
What resources do you need?
Yeah. Or what resources do you need? And these guys, they got, the emergency fund that they got set up that only can be utilized for veterans and emergencies. I mean, that's awesome. And they're doing everything like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And like a post is supposed to be ran. I know that the American Legions and the VFWs are supposed to be that way. And it's kind of like Ty from Triple Threat. He said that his post out in Houston area, VFW post, saved his life.
Yeah.
That's amazing to hear amazing positive stories coming from an American Legion and a VFW. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But guys, it's been a great show. I can't thank all of my guests that have been on over the last year. And all of you guys, the listeners and watchers that come in and comment every Sunday and Monday at 7 p.m. You guys make what I do fulfilling, because I know if I reach one veteran a day, I've done my job. And when I see Chris from Veteran Hundos Club, James Thornton from Warrior Rounds, and Ratman that came on, and Marcus
and
Doc jumped on. I mean,
and
all
Rich.
You guys and everybody that's come on at comments, you guys make me do this and want to continue doing it. If I could, I would do 7 days a week, but I can't. I have a wife and I have a life.
She said no.
My wife would kick my butt. What Oh, he's on the phone. I was getting ready to bring up. I thought he was talking to me there for a minute.
No.
But no, it's amazing. And these guys here at American Legion, Newport Harbor, Post 291, they do amazing things. So thank you guys tremendously. And like I said, go get this shirt. If you're watching, go get Marine It Down. Same flag, same oath.
Yeah, because not only do you have something really cool, you're going to help an awesome organization in Kentucky at the end of the year.
And when you get your shirt in the mail, make sure that you take a picture and tag us on all social media platforms. That way we can, share it on our platforms as well. So
hold a red crown.
Hold a red crown.
When you take your picture.
Let's drop this off. And if you're in crisis out there, guys, star 988, star 1 or pound 1 if you're a veteran. What's this comment?
And don't forget that line's not just for veterans.
Your daddy
is
still here.
Too.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you very much. But yeah, guys, we love what we do, and we do it because we care about what we're doing. So
that's
guys,
what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's our passion. So, but anyway, guys, stay safe out there, and we got your 6. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.